Hey everybody, this is Jennifer. I'm coming to you with another sales update video. I just want to discuss something first because this might be something that's having an impact on you and you do not even realize that it's happening. I put my store on a vacation mode for 2 days. I was really busy. I wasn't going to be able to ship. And when I do that, I do it so that the buyers cannot buy the items. They can see them, they can watch them, but they cannot buy them. The reason is that I have 1-day shipping. If I extend my shipping time, that I'm a power seller, so that will have a negative impact on me. Or if I'm late shipping, that will have a negative impact on me. So I just feel that it's better not to let the buyers buy the items. So what happened was when I got back and I took the vacation settings off, it looked like nothing was a problem, that the little thing on the top saying the item, that no one could purchase the item because I was away on vacation, had disappeared. Everything looked fine. But what I did is about 12 hours later, I checked for duplicate listings because I do that every once in a while. And when it ran through, it said that I only had 15 items available and I had 400 items available. So in my active listings in the Sellers Hub, it was showing I had all the items, all the 400 items, but when I went to my eBay store, it was only showing 15. If I searched any of the items that weren't available on eBay, none of them were showing. So it like literally hid 385 items 12 hours after I took the vacation settings off. So I called eBay and the first representative I got didn't have a clue. Had no clue what was going on and that he was going to have to talk to a tech and he wasn't sure and he'd have to get back to me, and I was on the phone with him for like a half an hour. And when I got off the phone with him, and he said to call back in 24 hours, I was pretty unhappy with that. I ended one of the active items because, like I said, it's showing as active in the Seller Hub. It's showing, if you looked under active items, it was showing that it was there. I ended it and sent it up. And once I did that, voila, it was in the store and it was back on eBay and everything was fine. So I was wondering, well, maybe I could just end all my items and send them back up. Maybe they'll just reimburse me for the fees. So the second representative I got when I called back said, oh no, this is very normal. This happens all the time. It can take up to 24 hours to show up. I said, this happens all the time? And she's like, yeah, all the time. We get calls about this all the time. So I said, well, the other guy didn't know. She's like, oh, I'll let him know. Yeah, no, this is really common. You have to give us up to about 24 hours. So call back in another 12 hours, basically, and if it's not up. But to me, that was kind of unacceptable, too, because I did not want my items hidden any longer than necessary, because that's ridiculous. So what happened is after I hung up with her, I thought, well, I either have to pay to end the items, end all the items to have them show for the next, 12 hours, or I thought, well, what if I just revise an item, or you go into edit or a bulk edit. But don't change anything, just go in and resubmit them all. So you're not charged when you edit something, especially if you do not make any revisions, there is no charge. So I went in, I revised one item, or I edited one item and sent it up, and again, in like a minute it showed up. So I did a bulk edit on all the items, all 400 items, and they showed up within 2 minutes. They were all on eBay, they were all back in my store. And I'm just telling you this because if you go on vacation, you might not even realize that they are not showing. You actually have to go check. Go check your store. Go into your store and check to make sure your items are showing up if you go on vacation. You can call them if you want. I got absolutely nowhere calling them. But if you do a revision on a bulk revision, and all you got to do is go into the Seller Hub, go into your active items, select them all, go into edit, do a bulk edit, takes like 2 seconds, hit submit, it will resubmit them all without doing any changes, and they'll be back up. So you don't have to lose yet another day if you go on vacation. Okay, I might do a video on this because, obviously if someone is looking for the solution, they're not going to see it in my sales update video. But I just wanted to let you guys know as soon as possible because this could be happening to you today or tomorrow, and this way you'll know how to fix it. Okay, now back to the sales update video. This item is a Donald Trump tie. These are still very good sellers. Like I said, they're not getting the money that they used to, but they sell very quickly. And I'm usually selling them between $20 and $30. I'm sure there's some designs that get more, but they seem to go very quickly around this price. This tie was $3. It sold for $23.99, and the buyer paid $26.99 for the item plus shipping. Okay, this is a pair of women's Eddie Bauer pants. They were new with tags. That's the only reason I got them. They were green corduroy. They were $4.50. They sold for $17.59, and the buyer paid $24.79 for the item plus shipping. Okay, this is a women's gallery jacket. If these are cheap, I usually pick them up. They sell. It's an okay seller. I've sold at least 3 of them. This was only 50 cents. It was on sale at the Goodwill. It sold for $19.99, and the buyer paid $27.79 for the item plus shipping. Okay, this is a men's Brooks Brothers sweater. It was a size small, which isn't great, but it was merino wool. It was $3 at the Salvation Army. It sold for $19.99, and the buyer paid $23.95 for the item plus shipping. And this is another Donald Trump tie. This was also $3 at the Goodwill. Oh, I'm sorry, at the Salvation Army. It sold for $23.99, and the buyer paid $26.99 for the item plus shipping. Okay, this was a men's Tommy Bahama sweater. It was an extra large, and it was a silk cotton blend, which is really nice, and it was new with tags, so that was just great all the way around. It was $4.50 at the Goodwill, and it sold for $35.99, and the buyer paid $43.19 for the item plus shipping. Okay, if you don't know about these jeans, Duluth Trading Company, these are great jeans to pick up. They sell, for me, they've sold very well. They sell for a good price, and they sell pretty quickly. Alright, these were a pair of carpenter jeans. Let me just show you what the tag looks like. And there's the one on the outside. These were $7 at the Salvation Army. They sold for $31.99, and the buyer paid $40.69 for the item plus shipping. Okay, this I kind of picked up without looking it up, and it didn't sell very well. Plus, it was a size small, which wasn't great. But it was like this Columbia jacket, but it was this weird Sherpa hot pink kind of color. And it was just so strange, I thought I'd pick it up. But it was $5.50, and I kept lowering the price. Eventually it sold for $15.99, which isn't horrible. I made like about, what, $8 or $9. And the buyer paid $23.19 for the item plus shipping. Now this is kind of what I mean by when I always say, become familiar with vintage items, because these are the items you'll see a lot when they run the sales, because a lot of people who are just shopping, which is the majority of people when they have these 50 cents per dollar sales, they're not looking for these vintage items. A lot of resellers really aren't looking for these vintage items. This was a Liz Claiborne jacket. Now, this name is not something you normally go look for, but this was like, it had the gold buttons, double-breasted, vintage wool. So I picked it up. It was only 50 cents, and it sold for $29.99, and the buyer paid $40.54 for the item plus shipping. So again, it's more the look, and it's a nice vintage item than the name, but it's really great to become familiar with it. And also you can play with it a little bit, because you'll usually find them in these sales for like 50 cents or $1. So, take a little time, spend a little money to play with these vintage items, because it really should pay off in the end. All right, this woman, this woman was a problem. This is a pair of new Merrell sneakers. They were $8 at the Goodwill, which was just fantastic. They sold for $99.99, and the buyer paid $120.04 for the item plus shipping. Now, I'm a little behind on these auctions. You can see this was in December. This person purchased it. Obviously, it was a gift. And then sometime, I think like a month or 5 weeks later, she filed something with PayPal and wanted her money back. I think she said she didn't receive the item, but I have the tracking. It showed that it was delivered, I think, in 3 business days, and they contacted me that this case was open. And, I'm sitting there with my fingers crossed, because you are protected. Don't think you're not protected by PayPal. You are. If you do everything the way they require you to do it, with the tracking number and shipping in the correct time and having proof of delivery, that they do protect you. So, they contacted me back. I think it took about 2 days, and they said because of all the information that they had, that I was not responsible, that they're releasing the money back into my account. Did she get her money back? I have no idea. But I was protected. That's really all that I care about. So, you know, just try to do things the right way by the rules. And they do protect you when you do. So that turned out well, at least in this case. Okay, this is a men's Levi's jacket. This was interesting. Obviously, it's a vintage jacket. However, on the inside, yeah, that inside Levi's tag was missing. It was supposed to be like right here, and that was pulled off, and has a Sherpa lining, and I think it had like quilted arms. But what was really cool in the back, it had all these military patches, which was just kind of cool. So I think it was, let's see, it was $8. Okay, it was $8 at the Salvation Army. It sold for $49.99, and the buyer paid $59.84 for the item plus shipping. So even though it was missing that inside tag, it still did pretty well. And, you know, if it has all these kind of cool patches on it, that's not a negative thing, because someone's going to want those patches as well. Okay, this is just a basic Ralph Lauren tie. It was half off at the Goodwill. It was $1.75. It sold for $9.59, and the buyer paid $12.91 for the item plus shipping. This is a BCBG Max Azria dress. This was half off at the Goodwill, so it was only $3.75. It sold for $29.99, and the buyer paid $36.64 for the item plus shipping. And this was just like a vintage. I wasn't sure if it was really vintage, but it looked vintage to me, so I didn't put it in the title. But it's a tracksuit for women. It was a size large. And yeah, I think the zippers on the pants, they didn't work very well, but I put that in my condition notes up here, and I put it into the item description as well. And it was only 50 cents because it was on sale at the Goodwill, and it sold for $23.99, and the buyer paid $32.64 for the item plus shipping. Okay, this is a Woolrich canvas jacket, a woman's jacket. And in case you don't know, with clothing, the women's buttons will be on the left. So if you want to remember that, left ladies. So if the buttons are on the left or the zipper's on the left, left ladies. So because sometimes you're going to come across a coat or a jacket, and it will be a little confusing whether it was meant for a man or a woman. So that's something in general is good to keep in mind. I think maybe occasionally there'll be a jacket from a different country that might not stand with those rules, but the majority of them do. So if the zipper is on the left, it's for ladies. So this one was, and I paid $4.50 for this at the Salvation Army. It sold for $47.99, and the buyer paid $65.14 for the item plus shipping. And let me just show you the tag if I take a picture. Yep. Okay, and there's the tag. Okay, another Donald Trump tie. So yeah, these are really great. So keep your eyes out for the Donald Trump tie, because usually ties run between $1 and $3, depending on where you live, obviously, but they're definitely worth picking up. This one was half off. Now that's the reason this is so cheap. I actually was kind of curious. It had flaws. It had a spot on it. It had the seam was coming undone, but that could be easily fixed. And I put it on auction because I was just kind of curious, and it still got 2 bids. It got $10.50, and the buyer paid $13.50 for the item plus shipping. And this is a Polo Ralph Lauren denim shirt. I wasn't sure how this was going to do. I didn't look it up. It was $6. Let me show you the tag. And there's the tag. It sold for $19.99, and the buyer paid $30.04 for the item plus shipping. Now these are great. I sell these flannel shirts from LL Bean all the time, and if it's got this kind of, I think, yeah, it's a buffalo plaid. That even just makes it better. Let me see if I can get a picture of the tag. And there's the tag. This is pretty heavyweight, and if you have most of the things from LL Bean, if you can put it in the title without losing other important keywords, like you don't want to, you know, leave out flannel or buffalo plaid or something like that. But if you have extra room, you want to put in like hunting and camping and anything to do with outdoors, you know, that's a good keyword. So I paid $4.50 for this at the Goodwill. It sold for $31.99, and the buyer paid $39.19 for the item plus shipping. And this is a Brooks Brothers jacket, which was great. I never find these. And this was at the Salvation Army. It was $10. I think originally I had it out for $50, but I think I was going into the end of my second month having it on, so I lowered it a little bit. And it sold for $39.99, and the buyer paid $47.19 for the item plus shipping. All right, that's all I have for eBay. The next two items are from Etsy. Okay, this is a vintage Boston, Massachusetts mug. It's from 1984. The artist is Bruce E. Hart, and it's, I forgot how to pronounce this, Pfaltzgraff, I think. And those will always be marked on the bottom. Now, the Pfaltzgraff itself, I don't know if all the Pfaltzgraff mugs are great, but since this was specifically Boston, it was really, I thought it was really a cool mug. I picked it up. It's only 50 cents at the Goodwill. It sold fairly quickly for $14.99, and the buyer paid $22.59 for the item plus shipping. Okay, the last item, this is so cool. It looks small here, but this was 1.5 feet tall. It's a bear statue. Obviously somebody handmade this. Like, everything on this was wire. I don't even know what his eyes were made out of. The whole frame was this super heavy wire material, and even the hair, this curled wire, was very, very heavy. You couldn't even bend it, and the statue was over 4 pounds. And I thought, you know, if I could show this to somebody in person, I would have even gotten a lot more. I'm sure I would have gotten maybe, you know, $70 or $80 if someone could have seen it in person, because the photos do not do it justice. And unfortunately, when I listed this, it was when Etsy only had 5 pictures available, so a lot of things I couldn't even show close up. But it still sold for $39.99. It only cost me $5, and the buyer paid $52.49 for the item plus shipping. Okay, that's all I have for today. I hope you enjoyed the video and your sales are going great, and I will see you next time.